Welcome back to Hopeful Horizon, where we bring you stories that inspire, challenge, and leave a lasting impact. Today's tale dives into the world of business, resilience, and the fight against prejudice. It all begins with Jordan, a determined entrepreneur, facing blatant discrimination from a powerful competitor. What unfolds next is a journey of standing tall in the face of bias, building a movement for equity, and delivering justice in the most unexpected ways. Stick around as we explore a story filled with powerful lessons, poetic justice, and a surprise that will leave you amazed. If stories of perseverance and change resonate with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you'll never miss a moment of hope and inspiration. And as always, let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you. Jordan Brooks had built his life and career on a foundation of hard work and integrity. At just 38, he had turned On-Time Freight Company into one of the most reputable logistics companies in the state. Known for his hands-on leadership style, Jordan wasn't the type of CEO who sat idly behind a desk. He thrived on understanding every level of his business, from boardroom strategy meetings to the warehouse floor. That's why, on a brisk Friday morning, he grabbed a uniform and joined the delivery team. The company was short-staffed due to an unexpected flu outbreak among drivers. Jordan's philosophy was simple: no task was beneath him. As he loaded packages into the back of a sleek white delivery van, his employees glanced at him with a mix of admiration and mild embarrassment. "Mr. Brooks, are you sure about this?" asked Tanya, the warehouse supervisor, holding a clipboard and trying to keep pace with him. "We can figure something out." Jordan flashed a smile. "It's just Jordan today, Tanya. And don't worry, I've got this. Besides, I used to do this full-time back in the day." His words weren't just for show. Years before On-Time Freight Co. had become a regional powerhouse, Jordan had been its first driver, delivering packages himself while hustling to secure clients. He knew every twist and turn of the city, every shortcut and back alley. The work wasn't foreign to him. It was a reminder of where he came from. As the morning rolled into the early afternoon, Jordan found himself on his final stop of the day, Harrington Estate. Nestled in the wealthiest neighborhood in town, the sprawling property was hidden behind an ornate, wrought iron gate. A high-tech intercom system perched on a stone pillar at the entrance. Jordan parked the van, grabbed the package labeled for Linda Harrington, and walked up to the gate. Pressing the intercom button, he waited. A static-filled voice crackled to life. "Yes?" It was a woman's voice, sharp and impatient. "Good afternoon, ma'am. This is On-Time Freight. I have a delivery for Ms. Harrington." There was a pause. Then, with a tone laced with suspicion, the woman responded, "Are you sure you're at the right address?" Jordan resisted the urge to roll his eyes. "Yes, ma'am. The package is addressed to this estate." Another pause, longer this time. The gates remained closed. "Wait there," she barked. Moments later, a thin, impeccably dressed woman appeared at the gate. She carried herself with an air of superiority, her diamond earrings catching the sunlight as she approached. Jordan held up the package with a polite smile. "Ms. Harrington?" he asked. Her eyes narrowed as she scanned him from head to toe, her lips curling into a sneer. "You're the delivery driver?" "Yes, ma'am." She crossed her arms, her gaze hardening. "I find that hard to believe." Jordan remained calm, though he could feel irritation bubbling under the surface. "I assure you, ma'am, I'm here on behalf of On-Time Freight Company. If you'd like, I can show you the delivery invoice." Linda ignored his words, her voice rising. "How did you even get into this neighborhood? Did someone let you through the main gate? You look—" She stopped herself, but the implication hung heavily in the air. Jordan felt the familiar sting of being judged, but he refused to let her rattle him. "I entered the neighborhood the same way all our drivers do, ma'am. I have a delivery to complete. If you could just—" "You need to leave," she snapped. "Right now." Jordan frowned. "Ma'am, I'm just doing my job. If there's an issue, I'm happy to resolve it, but—" Linda raised her hand, cutting him off. "I don't want to hear it. I don't know who you think you are, but you don't belong here. Leave or I'll call security." At that moment, a couple of estate staff, housekeepers and landscapers, peeked out from the side of the house, watching the confrontation unfold. Jordan could feel their eyes on him, a mix of pity and unease. He held his ground. I'm not here to cause trouble, Ms. Harrington. I'm here to deliver your package. Linda huffed, her face flushing with anger. I'll have your company fired for sending someone like you, she spat, her voice dripping with venom. Jordan's calm exterior finally cracked, replaced by a quiet confidence that cut through her tirade. I'd love to see you try, he said, his voice steady but firm. He turned, the package still in hand, and began walking back to the van as Linda called out to security, her voice echoing across the estate. Jordan climbed into the driver's seat, took a deep breath, and drove away. Back at On Time Freight's headquarters, Jordan walked into the office with the package still in hand. His assistant, Carla, raised an eyebrow as she saw him. Everything okay, boss? She asked. Jordan set the package down on his desk. Not exactly. Let's talk about Linda Harrington. Carla's face fell. Oh no. Did she give you trouble? Jordan leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms. Trouble is an understatement. She refused to let me deliver this, accused me of trespassing, and threatened to get us fired. Carla sighed. She's been a headache for years, always complaining about something. Late deliveries, damaged packages, rude drivers. But her complaints never hold up when we investigate. Jordan nodded. Let's dig into her account history. I want to know how many drivers she's reported and if there's a pattern. An hour later, Jordan sat staring at a spreadsheet filled with damning evidence. Carla had uncovered a disturbing trend. The majority of Linda's complaints were against drivers who were people of color. Jordan's jaw tightened as he scrolled through the records. This isn't just about me, he said quietly. She's been targeting my employees for years. Carla hesitated. What do you want to do, Jordan? Jordan glanced at the package on his desk. It's time we draw a line. He picked up the phone and dialed Linda's estate. After a few rings, an assistant answered. Good afternoon, this is Alice speaking. Hello, Alice. This is Jordan Brooks, CEO of On Time Freight Company. I'm calling regarding your account. Alice sounded flustered. Oh, Mr. Brooks, is there a problem? Jordan kept his tone professional. Yes, there is. Unfortunately, we'll be terminating our contract with Ms. Harrington's estate effective immediately. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end. Terminate? But why? Let's just say her behavior today was unacceptable and goes against everything my company stands for. Alice stammered, clearly caught off guard. I'll inform Ms. Harrington. Thank you, Jordan said before hanging up. Minutes later, his office phone rang. It was Linda. How dare you terminate my contract? She demanded, her voice shrill. Do you have any idea who I am? Yes, Ms. Harrington, Jordan replied evenly. I also know exactly who I am. The owner of the company you just insulted. Our business relationship ends here. For a moment, there was stunned silence on the other end. Then Linda erupted. This is outrageous. You'll regret this. Jordan remained calm. Goodbye, Ms. Harrington. He hung up before she could say another word. Later that afternoon, as he reviewed reports in his office, Jordan's phone buzzed with a notification. It was a LinkedIn message from Sophia Martinez, CEO of a rival logistics company. Hi, Jordan. I heard about what happened with Linda Harrington. Let's talk. I have an idea you might like. Jordan leaned back in his chair, a small smile forming on his lips. This day wasn't over yet. The following week, Jordan sat in his office, studying the message from Sophia Martinez. Her reputation as a trailblazer in the logistics world preceded her. As CEO of Precision Freight, she had built her company from the ground up, just as Jordan had. But what made Sophia stand out even more was her commitment to equity and inclusion in the workplace. Jordan's phone buzzed, snapping him out of his thoughts. It was Sophia. Jordan Brooks, she greeted warmly. Thank you for taking the time to chat. I've been following your work for years. Likewise, Sophia, Jordan replied. Your message caught me off guard, but in a good way. What's on your mind? Well, she said, her tone turning serious, I heard about your encounter with Linda Harrington. Her behavior doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. I've dealt with similar attitudes in our industry, but when I read about how you handled it, I knew we needed to talk. Sophia explained her idea, a partnership to address the discrimination and bias that permeated not only the logistics industry, but the broader business world. Together, they could leverage their platforms to promote inclusivity and highlight the power of diverse leadership. Jordan was intrigued. What did you have in mind? An initiative, Sophia replied. We'll call it Equity on the Move. We'll use our influence to shine a light on businesses that champion diversity and hold those that don't accountable. And I want to start by making an example of Linda Harrington. Jordan chuckled. You're not pulling any punches. Never, she said, her voice firm. But this isn't just about her. It's about changing the narrative. Are you in? Jordan didn't hesitate. Let's do it. By the end of the week, the Equity on the Move initiative launched with a bold statement. Sophia posted a detailed account of Jordan's story on her social media platforms, accompanied by the hashtag #EquityOnTheMove. The post went viral within hours. Entrepreneurs, employees, and community members shared their own experiences with discrimination in business. Local news outlets picked up the story, framing it as a powerful stand against systemic bias. Meanwhile, Linda Harrington's name became synonymous with elitism and prejudice. Former employees came forward, corroborating Jordan's claims and sharing their stories of being mistreated under her leadership. Her company, Harrington Interiors, began losing key clients who didn't want to be associated with the growing scandal. Linda's assistant, Alice, stood nervously outside Linda's office door. She knocked softly before entering. Ms. Harrington, she began cautiously, I think we need to address the situation with on-time freight. Linda looked up from her desk, her face pale but defiant. Address it? What exactly do you suggest I do, Alice? My company is under siege because of that man. Alice hesitated. With respect, ma'am, the backlash isn't going away. Perhaps you should consider apologizing. Linda scoffed, but the desperation in her eyes was evident. Apologize? To him? Publicly? It might help salvage your reputation, Alice urged. There's a luncheon next week for the Business Leaders Association. You could invite Mr. Brooks and use the event to make amends. Linda sighed, rubbing her temples. Fine. Draft an invitation. Let's get this over with. The luncheon was held at a prestigious downtown hotel. Jordan arrived with Sophia by his side, their presence drawing the attention of every attendee. Linda approached them, her expression strained but cordial. Mr. Brooks, thank you for coming, she said, extending her hand. Jordan shook it briefly. Ms. Harrington. As the luncheon began, Linda took the stage, visibly uncomfortable. I'd like to start by addressing recent events, she began, her voice tight. It has come to my attention that my actions may have caused offense to Mr. Brooks and his company. For that, I extend my apologies. The room was silent, the audience's skepticism palpable. Jordan stood, the spotlight now on him. Thank you, Ms. Harrington, he said, his voice steady. But this isn't just about an apology. It's about accountability. He turned to the audience, his words resonating with passion. As a Black entrepreneur, I've faced countless barriers that shouldn't exist. My company's success isn't just mine. It's a testament to the resilience of every marginalized individual who's been told they don't belong. The crowd erupted in applause. Linda's forced smile faltered, but Jordan wasn't finished. To ensure that stories like mine, and the challenges behind them, don't go unnoticed, I'm proud to announce a new partnership with Sophia Martinez, the Equity on the Move initiative. Together, we're committed to building a future where inclusivity isn't just a value, it's a standard. As Jordan left the stage, the room buzzed with excitement. Reporters swarmed him, eager to cover the groundbreaking initiative. Sophia leaned over and whispered, "You've set the stage perfectly. Let's make that surprise announcement count." The fallout for Linda Harrington was swift and unforgiving. Clients continued to withdraw their contracts, citing her discriminatory practices as the reason. Within months, Harrington Interiors faced financial ruin. Pressure from her board of directors forced Linda to step down as CEO. Jordan watched the developments from afar, his focus shifting to the future. With Sophia's help, he finalized the details of their new initiative, Open Doors Logistics Program. Unveiled at a major industry conference, the program aimed to provide job opportunities and leadership training for underrepresented communities. Talent exists everywhere, Jordan said during his keynote speech. It's time we create pathways for that talent to thrive. The program was met with widespread praise, with companies across the country pledging to adopt similar models. Jordan's vision had become a movement. One day, as Jordan prepared for a public seminar on equity in business, he received an unexpected email. Subject: request to attend. Dear Mr. Brooks, I've spent the past few months reflecting on my actions and their consequences. If possible, I'd like to attend your seminar. I believe I have much to learn. Linda Harrington. Jordan read the message twice, a mix of surprise and curiosity washing over him. He forwarded it to Sophia, who replied with a single line, "Your call." The seminar was held in a packed auditorium, the audience hanging on Jordan's every word. Toward the back of the room sat Linda, her demeanor subdued. When Jordan spoke about the importance of accountability and growth, his gaze briefly met hers. Afterward, Linda approached him. "Mr. Brooks," she began, her voice uncharacteristically soft. "Thank you for allowing me to attend." Jordan studied her for a moment. "Growth starts with accountability," he said. "The question is, are you ready to take that step?" Linda nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "I want to try." Months later, Harrington Estate was sold. The new owner? None other than Sophia Martinez. Standing in the grand foyer, she smiled as Jordan joined her. "Poetic justice," she said, raising a glass. Jordan chuckled. "Indeed." As they toasted, Jordan couldn't help but reflect on the journey. He hadn't set out to destroy Linda Harrington, only to stand up for what was right. In doing so, he had not only strengthened his company, but also sparked a movement that would inspire generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this empowering journey of resilience, accountability, and change. Jordan's story is a reminder that no matter how tough the odds, standing firm in your values can create ripples of justice and equality. It's about turning moments of adversity into opportunities to inspire others and build a better future. If this story moved you, let us know in the comments. Your thoughts matter to us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss another transformative story from Hopeful Horizon. And let us know where you're tuning in from. We love connecting with listeners from all over the world. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay strong, and always stand up for what's right.